We just watched the season 9 finale of When Calls the Heart. And oh my gosh, Lucas and Elizabeth are officially engaged.
Elizabeth, will you marry me?
Yes.
Erin, can you take me back to that day on set when you knew you were filming this proposal scene? What was the vibe? What was the energy?
I think that everyone involved in a scene like this, cast and crew, understands the importance of it. And so there was a lot of care put into even just making sure that that road looked romantic and autumnal, and they decorated it with some beautiful leaves, and they just wanted to imbue it with that magical romantic feeling. So there was a lot of care that went into it, and then just so much time. It took a really long time, and part of that was just because we wanted to take our time with it and make sure it was as wonderful as it could be, and part of it was just the nature of working with a toddler. Sometimes things take a bit longer, so
yeah, there are many distracting puddles along the way. It'd be really difficult not to float leaves as boats at every single puddle. I think that might have eaten up just a little bit of time.
Wait, so was that you, Chris, or Hyland?
No, that was me.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Chris loves a good puddle. He just can't resist.
Irresistible.
Chris, I want to ask you, because your character, Lucas, historically over the years, the guy knows how to put on the razzle dazzle. He knows how to deliver a grand gesture. And I really loved that this proposal was seemingly decidedly intimate. Was this something that you guys talked about? Was it a creative decision that you wanted to keep it just amongst the three of them and keep it, I don't know, kind of low key?
I think that we were all on the same page in that regard. And I also feel like we all thought it would be great. And Erin and I and John, I feel like we wanted to include little Jack in there somewhere as well. And especially since this season, Elizabeth has been helping Lucas grow as a person and realize that not everything has to be done in a grand gesture. So this was his opportunity to acknowledge that he's, that's resonated with him, and he's taken the biggest moment of his life so far and made it into the most intimate, kind of special, personal, and private way possible.
And I think John and our writers did a really beautiful job creating a proposal that felt unique to this couple and this young family, and quite frankly, different from the Jack and Elizabeth proposal, which was, over the top in that way. I thought that the way it was handled was really understated and spoke to the more mature connection that these two people have together, and I was really happy with it. And Chris just did such a beautiful job. I mean, it was like, I didn't have a ton to say as he was going through his speech, and it was just like, I didn't have to work that hard, because you're just like looking at his sweet face, saying these beautiful words. And then he was like, I think I want to twirl you. I think I'm gonna just like scoop you up and twirl you.
Was that improvised? Was that something that Chris just kind of felt instinctual to you? Because that's how it felt on camera.
It felt like the moment deserved a twirl. So yes. Yeah, you ever have those moments in your life where you're like, this is a twirl moment. It was one of those.
This is definitely a twirl moment.
There's another squirrel, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I hope we get a puppy cameo at some point during this interview. Nothing would make me happier.
Yeah, he's a little distracted right now, but if he calms down, I'll bring him
Right. I really loved in the writing of this episode that before Lucas asks Elizabeth to be his wife, he says,
Allow me to be a father to your son.
Was that intentionally put before the marriage proposal? Because little Jack has really become such a beautiful focal point of not just Elizabeth's storyline, but now also Lucas's.
I think John definitely put that first on purpose. Yeah, I think that it's a priority that little Jack is taken care of and has a father figure. And of course, both being a husband and a father are important things. But I feel that John wanted to lay down that Lucas is very, very serious about being a role model and a father figure to Jack. And so that's why it was prioritized.
I don't think I gave too much thought to the order of what he was saying, but I mean, I suppose if it had been the reverse, And Lucas had said, will you be my wife? Oh, by the way, I also want to be a father to your child. It doesn't really like flow quite as well. So I think that makes sense. I agree with the way it was handled.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. And I really loved the natural way that little Jack was integrated into the scenes. He's collecting rocks before he gives his mom the rock.
Mama? There you go, Mama.
Thank you.
How did Hyland enjoy being a part of this scene?
Oh, poor Hyland, actually. I think he had a cold that day, and some of the audio from that scene, you can just hear his little like rattly breathing as he's running along to scoop up rocks. But he was still in good spirits, and he was, like Chris said, he was just pretty distracted by the nature around him. He's a little boy, and he was having a good time.
Hyland's, he's a really great kid, and despite the puddles, he's typically quite focused, and he just seems to authentically enjoy being there and being a part of those scenes with us. So it really wasn't that difficult. That scene went by pretty smoothly.
Do you think he understands what a proposal is? Like, was he asking you questions about the scene, or did you guys explain anything to him along the way?
I know his parents go through the script with him and kind of explain what's happening in the scenes, and they work with him a lot. They're great. And I know that he has been watching the show and covers his eyes when there's any kissing. So he understands the like kissing romance elements of it, but I'm not sure if he understood that this proposal meant, okay, the three of us are becoming a family now.
And Chris, I have to tell you, it melts my heart every single time I hear little Jack call Lucas buddy.
We sure did.
How did that come about? Was that scripted, or is that like a term of affection that you and Hyland used together?
It's scripted, but I think I might be wrong with this, but I'm fairly certain it came from Peter DeLuise. It came from his past and a relationship he had with either his grandparent or father, something, and the word buddy was used as a term of endearment, and that's how it made its way into the script.
I think that is true, but I also thought that it was initiated by you calling Hyland buddy just like off the cuff one day, and then they wrote it in because it was meaningful to Peter and because it made sense for your characters.
Erin, when you and I spoke at the beginning of season 9, you held up your hand to the camera and you said,
This is the same ring that I've been wearing since season 1. I took it off temporarily when I was wearing the engagement ring and wedding band from Jack, rest his character's soul. And it's back, so maybe something will replace it on my left hand this season.
Fast forward, here we are. Season 9 finale, she's got a new, beautiful, shiny ring.
Yeah.
Did you have a say in picking out this exact ring?
Yeah, and not just me. I mean, Chris and I had some conversations about it. It had to make sense as a piece of jewelry that Lucas would select for Elizabeth. And so I think we all did a nice job creating that together.
You did. Chris, what were your opinions about picking out a ring for your on-screen fiance?
Nobody liked my picks. I was going for like
Stop.
half an inch by half an inch, like just a big rock. I'm like, I don't know, Chris, but they were being so kind about it. Like, sure. I'm just kidding. None of that happened. We were all on the same page. We all wanted something that was elegant and classy and kind of timeless, something that represented things that Lucas, I guess, holds dear.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed for a season 10. I'm just gonna talk like we have a season 10 because I refuse to live in a world where we're not going to get to see what's next with Lucas and Elizabeth as they go into this really exciting life. Erin, do you see Lucas and Elizabeth having a big grandiose wedding with all their friends and family there, or kind of true to the proposal, do you maybe see them doing their own thing and maybe eloping, doing something small and intimate as a family?
Oh, maybe we could have a travel episode where Lucas and Elizabeth go to Paris or something. That would be fun.
Can we shoot it in Paris too?
Yes, we have to shoot it in Paris.
Okay.
Well, they'll send us to like Vegas or something. Yeah, I could see it going either way. I don't know if it would be in Jack's church, maybe somewhere else.
Okay, Chris, have you thought about this at all? Like, do you have a vision for how your character might tie the knot? You're like, nope,
I just take things one thing at a time. So if we get a 10, then I'll consider it.
I don't want to jump the gun too much, but Erin, again, I got to thank you for a brilliant moment you gave me in the beginning of season 9. when I speculated that, possibly we could maybe see some more kids in Elizabeth's future, and you said
It probably gets the ovaries going, I would think. Can I say that?
Oh man, why did I say that?
because it's iconic, because the fans loved it, and we hold on to that moment so dearly. So now, fast forward, here we are. Do you think there are children in Elizabeth and Lucas's future?
But I think that Elizabeth and Lucas are on the right track for a really beautiful love story, and they have little Jack to focus on, and whether their family is complete, the three of them, or if it grows, there's just an awful lot of love there between them. And I'm excited to see where it could go.
Chris, you want more kids on set? You want to see your character expand the family a bit?
I'll take more Hylands on set. Hyland's a blast.
Oh, he's great.
I want to ask you guys a question about Nathan. My goodness, we are in such a different place than we were a year ago, when the feelings were sad and emotional. And here we are. We've got Nathan teasing Elizabeth in such a sweet and loving way. We've got Nathan spending one-on-one time electively with Lucas. And I loved that he said in the season 9 finale,
"You could do a lot worse than marrying Bouchard. Try not to lose him like you lost me."
So, Erin, how do you feel about these characters being in such a healthy place?
I'm really happy with where things ended in the dynamic at the end of season 9. I think that there's still a lot of care between those characters, all three of them, for each other, and that's just displayed in different ways. You're right, and the poking fun. Nathan does a lot of poking fun of both Elizabeth and Lucas, but I guess Elizabeth anyway kind of put him through it, so maybe she deserves it. I just really appreciate it. I think it's a very natural, but still very caring dynamic.
And Chris, did you ever think that your character and Kevin's character would get to this place where they seemed like they were friends hanging out when they were out together in the woods?
Yeah, I hoped that they would get there. And it's happened. So if we do a season 10, I'm looking forward to seeing how it progresses from there.
And I don't know if this has anything to do with part of the reason why I think these characters have been able to move on so maturely, but it seems like Nathan has found happiness with Miss Mei Sou. Is it fair to think that Mei Sou and Nathan are together?
I think things were perhaps intentionally left a little ambiguous, right? Hopefully we'll be able to explore that more in a season 10, I hope. But there was exploration with Mei. There was what appeared to be flirtation with Faith. I sort of hope for everyone's sake that we're not on our way toward another triangle because I'm not sure I can take it. But it seems like Nathan is opening his heart again, and I imagine he will. I mean, he's a real catch, so I'm sure he will find love very soon.